Hi, I'm gonna do an application video with SheGlam, the products I just bought. Just take into account my lighting's over here, so obviously it's much darker over here, and I did just kind of have a seizure. I do have epilepsy, so it's nothing new, so it might be like a little iffy. And, you know, I'm just wearing a t-shirt after this, honestly, I'm probably gonna go back to bed. I did already do my brows, because there was no SheGlam brow product that I bought, so I just put them on, and I got concealer, you know, as you can see. Okay, so let's go ahead. Starting out, definitely, you know, gotta get that primer on your lids. I do not use concealer. This primer just happens to look like this. This primer is it's CoverGirl mixed with a hard candy primer. Just pat it on with my finger, ignore the black mark. And then I always just use a powder brush that still has powder on it from last time to set. And I just push. Okay. And I do my eyes first, and then I do foundation. Now, a lot of people do the opposite, which to me makes no sense, because as you're doing your eyes, if any shadow falls out down here, then you have to like wipe it off, and then it's hard to reapply the makeup in that spot. Or some people don't even wipe it off, and next thing you know, you just got like eyeshadow everywhere. So yeah, just do your foundation last. It makes more sense. That's what I was taught, you know, taking makeup courses. So yeah, just definitely do that. Oh yeah, and ignore the background. This is not a grow tent, actually, even though it looks like one. This has my tegu in it, which is a very large lizard, so. Okay, so right now, using this palette. What is it, Carly Bible? I don't know how to pronounce that. But it's by Anastasia Beverly Hills, but I am just gonna take the color Cindy and mix it a little with Chai. Since the colors of that I got are very like warmish tones for the blushes I got from SheGlam, I'm just gonna do my eyes warm colored even though it's cold out. I always start over here, and first you just gotta dot dot dot. You pack it in right there on each side. It doesn't have to be perfect yet. Pack, 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 pack. Might even have to get a little more. Pack, pack, pack. And you only do about to the halfway mark. Now, very softly, you bring it over. And this is like the easiest way to do a simple eye look. And then little circles. It's great for a gradient also. Just naturally, with not packing on the inner corner and just bringing a little bit over. Okay. Now, we are going to try both the Jelly Wow, which was Delirious, and the SheGlam purple jelly eyeshadow, the Wizard Invisible, these two. Now, what I was thinking of doing is applying both of them on my eye with like one on the inner corner, one on the outer, and then just kind of blend them in the middle, just so I don't have to do multiple eye looks. So in order to do that, I am going to open my Too Faced Sweet Peach and get a lot more of an orangey tint from this under Candied Peach. I'm gonna mix Candied Peach in with Just Peachy and get a lot more peachy colors in here. Okay, and then I'm going to put a shimmer down under these just so that I have a base color. You can apply them on your own, of course, but a lot of times I don't like the look of them by themselves when it comes to, because these are just very glittery, you know, especially the purple jelly shadow. So what I do is I'm gonna pick, it's called Moo, and I'm just gonna use my fingers and just get a little bit, and I'm gonna apply this to the inner half and slowly blend it towards the end like that, and do the same thing over here. And then I'm gonna take the color Aura and very gently mix it in on my finger, and then just put a little bit on the ends because it's a darker shade. Okay, maybe just a little bit more actually. Okay. Now, I put the palettes away until I do my under eye, but I actually do that after eyeliner. So, hold on. So, I'm going to take a brush. Okay, I'm going to take a brush like this, where it's made of plastic. This one is by Crown Brushes. C475. It is silicone glitter liner. Now, even if I don't use it as a liner, I still apply it on this part and do that way because it makes life a little bit easier. It doesn't stick to the brushes. With this, at least most of the product comes off. It's not stealing anything. So, I'm going to start out with Delirious. And now this is the one that came with a huge air pocket. This one is more of a shimmer with little specks of what look like glitter. And it does not take much because I'm not using a bristle brush. It's not going to steal anything. So don't, you know, no need to really cover. Like even that is too much. Let me take a little bit more off. And what I'm going to do is apply this to the inner corner. What I'm going to do is pat, 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 pat. And now that it's starting to mix in, now I'll swipe. You want to pat it first to start to get it a little bit tacky so it'll mix properly. Now you can already see how much brighter this side is. Even though this side of my face is much darker because of lighting, you can really see the difference. So, I'm going to go over here, pat, pat, pat. Pat, 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 pat. And now swipe. And it's going to really mix in with the shadow. Pat, good amount. And you have to do this in layers to really build it up. If not, it doesn't dry properly. And remember to try and do kind of like a cut crease. It doesn't have to be perfect though, because we're not doing a very specific cut crease. And now just very lightly, so it just brings a little bit and mixes it in. Just take a little more. Oh geez, I keep accidentally taking a lot. Now very gently swipe, 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 swipe. Because this is going to be the middle ground where it has to mix with the other colors. Same with the under shade. You see? Okay. Now we are done with Delirious. And we are going to go to Purple. This is the one, I don't know if you guys remember it, that's almost entirely glitter. And this is the one that also dried down really well versus Delirious, which I thought it would be the opposite because this one looks a lot like a hair gel. I mean, it even almost looks like an oil, like, not an oil that stays in oil, so more like coconut oil when it's hardened. That's kind of what it looks like, consistency. Maybe Vaseline. Same kind of idea. You gotta take a little. Oh, this is one that smells like peaches too. I'm sold. I'm sold. Even if it does horrible, I'm sold. Makes me want to eat peaches though. And the same idea of just patting it down. Now this one, because it's not a shimmer, it's just the glitter and then clear, of course you had to have a color underneath or it was just going to be the color of your lid. And I mean, that's fine if that's what you're into. I'm not. Now, this one is going to take longer to dry before we can pat. I mean, after we pat. And it doesn't affect the color as much because it is just glitter, so. Okay, so this is what I always do. Okay, I have my old Jeffree Star mirror. This is how I dry my face quicker. And you know what? I am waiting for the day that this mirror busts out, like comes out of the thing and just hits me in the face. But until that happens, this is my little fan. You know what? Dry enough. Now pat and bring back and forth, back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. And you want to be gentle because if not, with a lot of these products, once they are starting to dry, you push too much, it leaves streaks. You have to be very, very gentle for this reason. Okay, so the last thing eye-related that they gave, or not that they gave us, that I bought, is the glitter liner. Now what I'm going to do is I'm first going to line with black, and then I'm just going to put a little bit of glitter over it. So this is going to be a very glittery look. So obviously it's fine that I'm just going back to bed because this really isn't going anywhere. I just wanted to show how they apply. If I can even find the glitter line. Oh, forgot. To me this looks like a little thing of nail polish, so it throws me off. I'm used to my glitter liners being much slimmer, but this is very fat and short, so kind of like some men. And me. Anyways. Now this is a liquid liner by Anastasia Beverly Hills. This one is a very simple liner for me. I can't do too crazy of looks with like very fine lines because this is the tip. It is not a brush, it is a foam tip. And it is way too big of a tip actually. So to me, when I do fine lines, from far away you can't even see the fine lines, but I know they're there, you know? Nobody else can, but I know that it keeps going. Okay, so, something in my eye. There we go. And I always start where my lashes start, and then I wipe off some of the product right there, and then I go and put a very, very fine line in, and then that's how I start it. And now because of the glitter product, this is affecting the way I'm applying eyeliner, but you know what? I'm still sold on the glitter for now. Get a little more. Now we're gonna make sure it goes all the way to the lash line. I mean, I don't even care if my lashes are getting a little wet. As long as it doesn't make it to my eye, we're fine. And now we're not gonna do the wing yet. I always let this dry because when I'm doing the wing, I tend to open my eye in different ways. So if this isn't dry, it could end up here because I have hooded eyes. So, to the other side. And then, like I said, go far down to the lash line as you can. Bring it out a little, like you're gonna start a wing. And now while I did that one, this one had time to dry more. Now to do the wing, I am going to get a very small amount because I usually do some pretty big wings, but with a very small tip. And because I have hooded eyes and I have wrinkles down here, despite my age, I know I already have wrinkles, I have to make sure I don't have too much product. If not, it'll just smear everywhere. Doesn't matter which product I use, by the way. I know my own anatomy. Okay, so bring the line out. And then slowly do that. And then what we're gonna do is slowly fill it in. And bring it out. And make sure it's full. And then bring it like that. I know it looks super easy. It's not. It's not. Usually I mess up. And that's with me doing eyeliner since I was, 10 years old. Okay, now let's see if I can get them to match. Usually I can't get the angles to be the same. You know what, looking close enough. Yep, okay. Then fill and bring it over. Now I'm already starting to see issues with one of these products. Okay, so I did mess this up. What I'm going to try to do is use this and push that liner down and clean it on the back of my hand. Okay. And yes, that very much cleaned it. So now, what I am seeing is with the Jelly Wow in the shade Delirious, it is doing this, which is not good. And I predicted this when it was on the back of my hand. Now the other one, doing fine. In fact, it's not even coming off. This one, not so much. But so far, not very happy about it. But I called it. I did call it. I'm not going to throw it away. I don't throw away anything. I will learn to work with it. Okay, so now that I've applied the eyeliner, let's get out the glitter liner. And what I'm going to do is follow right above my eyeliner with this. With a very fine line. that you probably won't even see because of the other glitter. But And I'm going to stop it right here. I'm not going to bring it all the way out. And like I predicted with this brush, it is hard to apply. And the product is burning my eye a little. And I usually do not have a reaction to products, so this is not something normal. So you have to hear all the running. My cat and dog are playing. Okay, so the burning has already gone away. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to close my eyes and back to the fan to make sure the glitter liner does not get anywhere, hopefully. Okay, now I'm just going to do a little powder under the eye. So out of the Sweet Peach by Too Faced palette, I'm going to use Delectable. Thought I'd throw in a different color, and a dark purplish seems perfect. So, I'm going to pull the eye a little, start back here, and go back and forth a bunch. Kind of the same idea as what I did up here, with a much finer brush. And then, once you get to the halfway mark, try to get more on the lashes so that they buff it out. And then to the other side. So there's that. And of course, I still do have to apply concealer under here, but I still do this first, and like with the concealer, I fix this up so it's like a perfect crisp line. Speaking of concealer, that is next. I am going in with the Tarte Shape Tape. It's by far my favorite concealer. This applies, does not come off. I love it so much. Like, this is my number one. It's so thick. I have other concealers, by the way, but you know, I always end up using this one, especially under my eyes. I use the other ones usually for other places. This, though, is amazing, especially if you need to cover something up that shouldn't be there. Okay, now I already wet the sponge. This is the Peach Sponge by Shape Tape. And now, in case it cannot get, because it's a much bigger sponge, in case it can't get into the inner creases, I did bring my other one. Don't remember who this is by, but this one's amazing too. It used to be stamped, but when it's wet, the stamp, it doesn't show anymore. So I can't tell you the brand, but it's a very odd shape. I'm sure you could find it just because of its shape. Okay, so let's see how this goes. So unlike other sponges, this one actually already feels dry, even though I did soak it. So that's a little odd. And I will say it's not getting a very crisp line, and it is stealing a lot of product, actually. So despite it being cute, I would not consider this that great of a sponge. It is not really doing what it's supposed to. It's not blending very well, and it's stealing a lot of product. So I am going to go back and apply just a little right here, and you know what, that should probably be enough. And I'm going to go in with my other sponge because this obviously is not working. And this sponge, look, it does not steal product, and yet it still blends. And it is making that crisp line I talked about. Yeah, so I'm going to say a no on the sponge. Do not like this for concealer. I will try it with foundation, but I do think I'm going to have to go in with this. I did not bring my bigger one, but if I have to use this for foundation, I will. Okay, so Tarte Double Duty Beauty Face Tape Foundation. This is 88 Porcelain Beige. Oh, by the way, the other one is 88 Porcelain Beige also for the concealer. I think it's the lightest color they have, which of course I need. So I am going to apply it like this. I do not take a lot, like one pump on each side. I know some people do multiple, not me. I might have to add more, I guess, if this does steal it. So, let's see. We'll say with the foundation, it is stealing it. I can't tell yet if it's to the same degree. Okay, remember to go all the way to your ear, even if it ends up on your earrings. You can always wipe it off. And go all the way into your hairline, even if it, you know, does this to you. They have hairspray, tinted hairspray for a reason. And I usually, besides the concealer blending up, I only use whatever is left on to do my upper face. Because there is not much to hide up there. Once again, cover everything. It's easier to go back and clean off your jewelry than to try and avoid it and then have very obvious spots. Okay. Now before I do my neck, I'm going to come up into my hairline with whatever's left, and then, now this sponge is leaving a very odd texture to my face. It did not steal nearly as much product. And then you start to bring it down with whatever is left. Then you come all the way behind your ear, down your neck. Tap, 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 and I do this motion. And then if you're wearing something low cut, you can go farther, obviously, but remember, I'm going back to bed. You know, I had a seizure. It makes me tired. Okay, so now we get to try the SheGlam translucent powder. Now what I do first is, you know what, I never even use their little sponges. In fact, it has blush on it, so from the other day. What I use is e.l.f. Kabuki? I forget what these brushes are called, but they became very popular a few years ago, and I had to buy one. And I do a little of this, and then I tap, tap, tap. Now, I look up, but close my eye at the same time. Or I can keep it open too, but I just tap. Now you tap down a bunch, and I focus on the inner eye first. I focus on the eye in general. And then once the concealer under my eyes, then whatever's left on this, you just tap away to set everything else. Now I do not bake. I don't like the texture it gives. And then once you're done doing this, then you can actually sit there and blend. I don't do that, but for people who do prefer to do that, do it after you've officially tapped it all in. Okay. Now, time for the blush. And I don't keep applying the powder past this. The rest of my face, it still feels dewy. So, I am going to try out the contour for cool tone skin. It's called Soft Tan. So, comes out like this. I'm going to see, I'm going to draw a line. You know, I'll wait to draw the line on the other side because I don't know how this blends yet, and I don't know if it's going to dry down. So I'm going to go back to their sponge, even though I don't like it that much, but I'm trying to do as much of the face as I can. Yes, this does not blend well. I guess you can't really tell. Okay, and once I've blended this out, what you do is you take whatever color is left, and you chisel out the chin, at least on this side, and then when you do that side, you'll do it on there. Okay. And then you start to blend up with whatever is left. But I'm going to come back in with a colored powder also, because I don't want to look too much like a ghost, even though I am. Okay, so. Looks drastically different because of the lighting. I am going to apply a little bit more. I don't think I came as far over as I did on the other side. And remember, you want like a triangle shape, so as you come up, go up. And then And I'm not somebody who wants the crazy contour lines. I do not want to look overly tan. I am not tan. So I do not want to look orange. I do not want to look like anything like that. Okay. Now we are going to try a blush. I just grabbed the first one I saw. This one is Devoted. Now, these are all by SheGlam. And they all, I assume, have basically the same makeup, like chemicals and stuff, so it really doesn't matter which shade I got. They were all in the same blush category. So what I'm going to do is just one little dot, and then bring it up, and then as I blend, I'll go up like that. So I'm going to take the bottom, and what you're going to do is bring that, and see, it's actually taking my foundation off now. So this, I'm done with it. You know what? I am done with it. So let me add a little bit more and try to blend. And you can bring it as far down as where your contour is. You can bring it up over the nose. I don't like that look on me. So let's see if I put way more on this side, what it looks like. Actually starting to look pretty even. Now, what I do is I go back in with whatever is left on this from my translucent powder, and I don't tap too hard. But I do this to try and set it. And now I did like the blush. I did like its formula. Did not like the sponge, as I said many times. So, final. Now I'm just going to finish my face. There is no more products, but I am just going to finish it. So, I'm going to grab I use this for like my bronzer. I'll start back here, do a little line, and then go up. See, there comes the color in. And then go down, and then whatever you have left, take down the neck, behind the ear. Tap, tap, tap. Now I'll take a little bit for this side. And go up. I don't have to go too far. I already did a lot on my forehead. Now down. Chisel out that chin we don't have anymore. And now. Okay, and then this blush, I'm going to add just a little bit of actual powder, but I'm only going to do it right here, not so much right here, because that looks colored enough. And blend it in with the bronzer. Okay, now, the bronzer was Hula, and then Cargo Bali for the blush, and then now the Moonchild. First, what I do is I get a little round tip brush, I dip in to one of the shades. I usually end up mixing them all, and I just put a dap right there, dap right here, and then I go back and I blend up and down, and I bring it up like that, bring it down a little. Okay, a little bit of the Delirious just came off, actually, like a booger, so that's not a good sign. And then take it and I go right here, and then whatever powder is left on your bronzing brush, I make it even tighter. I try to hold it like that, and I come in, I put a little on the sides of my nose, don't contour too crazy on my nose. And then I do the little button end. Now I go back to this brush and I get highlight, and then I just do the very tip. I'm looking like a clown right now, but I'm obsessed with highlight. Have to have a large amount of it. And then to finish the nose, I just take a little bit of highlight on one of these little fans, and I do a line. But I still leave a gap where that tan is. And there you go. And then I take this and I start out here. I bring it down, bring it down. Then I gently bring it over. Now we're going to do the other side. Focus mostly over here. Bring it over, bring it over. Now, right here, make sure it gets very on your M shape. And then bring it down. And then now I take a big fan brush, mix some of the colors together, put it right here and make sure it touches that spot where it connected to your eye, and then bring it over. And now that my highlight is done, I can officially put on my brow gel. Now what I do is I fill them in first. I do the brow gel as one of the last things because I don't want the highlight to stick to the brow gel and then have highlighted brows like little individual hairs. Now this is by Wonder Brow. I just get a little. And this is what actually sets the hairs down. Especially me, my hairs grow oddly long. But you wouldn't know it. So there's that. Now, I'm going to go off camera and apply my lipstick and my mascara, lashes, things like that. Be right back. Okay, I'm back. So this is the final look, and now I'm going to do a little bit of the critiques. Now, all I did was go and put on lipstick and mascara and lashes. And so far, the biggest loser would be this. I would give this a 2 out of 10, and the 2 is only because it's cute. Nothing else. But yeah, this is what it looks like up close. The glitter, not very good. There's only 2 products I genuinely don't like, and it's, besides the sponge, it is the Jelly Wow, which is not wow at all, in the shade Delirious. I literally hate this. But I'm gonna use it. I'll find it. Maybe I'll put it as for my cheeks or something as a highlight, but no, absolutely hate it. But I definitely don't hate anything else. I mean, honestly, I'm gonna continue to use the rest of these products, and I am still gonna use this. The sponge, I don't know. I do not know what I'll use that for. I really cannot think of this. I can find other uses for that sponge. It's a sponge. Can't think of any other uses. So I guess we'll see. So here's an up close of how everything turned out. I love the blush. I love the contour. But as you can see, do not like that. That Jelly Wow did not turn out good at all. You can see that the purple shade turned out fine. The glitter liner turned out fine. But up close, Delirious did not hold up. But of course, I love the contour and the blush. Okay, so the blush, I would probably give an 8 out of 10, honestly. I do not usually use wet blushes. I always use powder. I did actually like it. And the only reason it turned out sort of bad was because of the sponge. The contour, I love. I finally found a shade for cool-toned, light-skinned people like myself. I would definitely give that an 8 out of 10 also. And the glitter liner, I'd give about a 6 out of 10. I can't tell from this look. I would have to try it again to give it a better score. Right now, it's doing what it's supposed to, but you can't really distinguish the difference. Now, the Invisible Jelly Glitter Wizard in the shade Purple, I love it. It is definitely an 8 out of 10. But, of course, the Jelly Wow, for an eyeshadow, which is what I used it for this time, I would have to give it probably a 3 out of 10. I will not know until I use it with something else. But overall, I would say SheGlam, definitely a win. Because you gotta remember, I only used one of the blushes, I bought 3. I only used one of the contours, I bought 2. So overall, I would say that this was a win, for sure. Especially with the price of around $3 to $5 for every item. I'm sold. I'm sold. And I hope you are too. Bye!
Yeah, they're invincible, and she just in the background.